Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rant Bollox. We're on the review train for Game of Thrones. This is Season 8, Episode 4.
Get me off the train. I don't want to be on the train anymore.
There's a hype train going, because ever since this started, with Episode 1, we were on this hype train and we were thinking, this guy's going to die. This is going to happen within the first 5-10 minutes, and it's, for us it's been a little bit lackluster. But we had the massive battle, the Winterfell battle on Episode 3, and had lots of things to say about that. And this
some people don't like that though. Some of the comments are just ripping into it.
Yeah, that was a popular video for us, and we thanks for commenting and tuning in and stuff. But this one, it's
we better tell them real quick. You're gonna set up all the podcasty bits.
That's right. So we'll be on iTunes.
That's my technical speak. Podcasty bits.
The podcasty bits.
That's just how much I know about this shit.
Yeah, we had a couple of comments with, it's a shame you guys aren't more visual. So we're working on something where you'll actually...
Fuck you guys!
So, fuck you and your visuals.
We're gonna you come here and listen to us and give us your feedback and input.
We're going to take away visuals. We're just going to have a black screen, all right?
Everyone who listens to us goes blind.
No, we will be on iTunes and all of that jazz, Spotify, and I think Google Music. And then
nice. I didn't know that. That's good.
And then what was the other one? Going just more visual. So we'll probably try and get like a webcam in front of our faces, and we'll play like a trailer in the background, so at least you can see some of the characters in that episode.
Yeah.
We'll
going
give forward,
one episode, and then everyone will be like, "Switch back to no visuals, please."
Yeah, we don't want to see your ugly mugs. But, we had Episode 4 that we watched. I know that you gave some thoughts earlier in the week, Paul. But what did you think?
Here's what I did. So I was by myself, and I recorded my own little solo review. And the reason it went real long was that I started reviewing the episode like you would review any episode. You're like, this is good, and I like that character interaction, and wasn't this cool? And there was like a point where I felt my brain just snap, and it just went off the edge. And what it was that I realized this was the episode after the Night King. Right. And then my brain snapped again, because it was like, there's only 3 episodes left.
I know, man.
And I was like going into this like review of it as if it was a regular season and it was a regular episode. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. This took a bit of time and they're sort of building up to something, blah, 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 blah. And then my brain just snapped and went, this is a pile of fucking horse shit. You got 3 episodes. You're fucking wasting time spinning your wheels. And then you're not even going to address the fact that the whole show's like underlying foundational premise is gone. There's no Night King. Bran being the third-eyed raven doesn't matter. Arya saved the whole world with a dagger stab. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm just like, what are you doing anymore? It's not worth it.
Yeah. You know what? Just to hit on that as well, it keeps coming back for me as well that it's 6 episodes. Why didn't they go with like 10? So I thought the episode was pretty good. I thought it actually went back to like a classic Game of Thrones episode. There was politics and there was like some character development, and we saw everyone kind of doing what we want. But it's you hit the nail on the head. It's like 2 seconds. There was a.
I hit the nail on the head and I killed Al. Now he's done. Yeah, for a regular episode, that's what I felt like. I was like, this is a regular good episode. You got the Jaime bit, and you got what's it called? I can't remember the name of the army that Cersei brings in, and they have it we've got half the army that we had after the Night King. Yeah, she's got reinforcements, and then I was like, here's some cool moments. Spoilers, obviously. I love when the dragon got shot. Came out of nowhere. It's a typical Game of Thrones death. You're just like, oh shit, where'd that come from?
Yeah,
that was good. But I was like,
yeah, that was good.
Whatever.
That was good. Sorry. I just wanted to apologize. I was just chatting there, and then my neighbor just decided to spark some kind of lawnmower up. So that's why I stopped there. So
you went out, killed him, and come back to this.
He is now dead. He is now dead. But yeah, like I did think it was a good episode, but my God, they've only got 2 more left. So they've shit the bed. It should have been 10 episodes in my opinion. We should have had a few more like episode 4 with some development. Like just give it that buffer time, because even in this one, they're suddenly in King's Landing. They just jumped there, didn't they? You know, there's little things they did where it was just like they're just they're speeding up way too quickly.
Well, they're speeding it up, but they're not. It like has this big gap in the episode where you're just like waiting for something to happen, and in this one it was the whole Jamie, Brienne of Tarth, they're together, and then he leaves and goes back to Cersei, and it's like, is there going to be any character development for anybody in this show?
No.
There was another moment where someone's talking about how clever Tyrion is, and I'm just like, that dude hasn't done anything clever in like 2 years.
He's shit the bed in the last 2 seasons, yeah.
And it's all this like bad dialogue, and it just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And in terms of predicting what's going to happen next, it's like you've got every single major character still alive.
Yeah.
So are they just hoping that it's going to be one of these like, oh my God, they killed everybody in the final episode?
That's what I'm wondering. It's like, are they really going to do that? I don't think so. I think from how these 4 have gone, I think you're only going to see 2 or 3 deaths, fairly big ones, and then the rest of it's all just going to be like stragglers. So
yeah, like the episode tonight, we're recording this Sunday morning. The episode tonight is the second last episode ever of Game of Thrones. So let that sink in.
I know.
And what do we got to look forward to? Not much. There's a battle that's going to come.
Well, here's the thing, and we will talk about episode 4, but like predicting what's going to happen, like it's been fairly predictable so far. I know the Night King thing wasn't, but just the way they've kind of taken the easy route so far. So if I was to do predictions on the battle tonight, it would be Jaime's off to kill Cersei. He's not off to kind of rejoin or anything. I think he's gonna kill her. I'm not 100% sure if he will, but he'll attempt to. 100% the Hound is gonna fight the Mountain. They're both probably gonna die somehow. Maybe Arya saves the Hound or something. Maybe he's about to die. So I think that's gonna happen. And I think we're gonna see Dany go crazy, because we saw it kind of at the end. She's gonna start to go crazy, and then maybe she'll hand the throne over to Jon if he's still alive, and just say, "I'm not worthy" or something.
Right.
But
those are kind of whole mad king Targaryen, that thing.
Yeah. That's a prediction. But like, yes, some of episode 4 kind of like just the end of it, you know, with Missandra. Just that was pretty tense. But
that's a good scene, but it's like, it's a good scene. It's a good end to an episode. It's not a good end to the 4th episode out of 6.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like you're saying, like, it could be 10 episodes, but I'd almost say we've only had 2 good episodes. If you take all 4 episodes and kind of chop it up, there's like 2 good episodes in there.
Yeah, I agree.
And even then, it's not good now, because, like I said, after the Night King, I'm like, well, hopefully there's like a Marvel end of credits scene where we see him come back alive in the in the Deadwood or the dead wherever, and it's just like, nope, he's dead. It's over. That was it. That was the whole thing. And I'm just like, fuck off.
It is disappointing that that's over so quickly. The only defending thing I will say is that it is called the Game of Thrones, so for me, it's who's sitting on the throne. But I know that the entire time the Night King's been the threat, and they've been like, because I even popping up on my YouTube is like old scenes from Game of Thrones, and it popped up in Winterfell with all the Starks, and they're preparing for the Night King. Like, that's episode 1, season 1, episode 1. They're preparing for him, and all of that preparation, Arya just stabbed him in the chest or in the stomach, you know. So it is definitely disappointing, but there's also still this Game of Thrones to resolve, you know, who's sitting on the throne. And I think now I look at it, it's like, yeah, it never was going to be the Night King, I guess, sitting on it. But that's just season 8. Everything from up to season all the way to season 7 was told great, and we didn't know what was going to happen. But as soon as we saw that first episode of season 8, I think it just told us, confirmed that they've kind of copped out. They've gone the easy route, and I think it's going to be, even tonight, it's going to be quite predictable about who's dead and what's going to happen. I have heard as well that it's actually over tonight. So tonight we'll see, either Cersei dead or whatever, and then maybe Dany, or whoever it is. I don't think we'll see someone sitting on a throne tonight, but the whole battle's done tonight, and then the next episode is just the aftermath. So
that seems to be the way they've done this season.
Yeah, basically. Well,
I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, what are you losing if you go and do like a crazy episode? Like episode 1, out the gates, Jaime gets shot with a crossbow in the fucking head. 5 seconds into the episode. Like, what does it matter? The books have not been written. The books are always going to be there. This is the last season. You don't have to fucking worry about anything.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get why they didn't swing for the fences and just be like, yeah, we're going to do this. He's going to do that. She's going to kill him. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, I know. It's every time we do one of these, we're kind of raging about it. And the funny thing is, this is one of the better episodes, and we're still raging.
Yeah.
I'll do a little rundown, because I did a little rundown from like some of the scenes that I liked, some I didn't.
All right.
So the dead bodies at the beginning when they're burning them, this was hilarious because Dany was looking at Jorah's body, and I didn't know, because of the way the shot was done, I didn't know it was like after, and they'd like laid him down and they were going to burn him. I thought she was still looking at him on the battlefield. I'm like, have you been there for like 10 hours just staring at him? Because it was like light as well. But anyway, it panned out, and I kind of like the speech that Jon gave to everyone, just saying like, these people died for us and their names will live on and blah blah blah. That was the first time I've seen him kind of be a leader in a while, because every other time he's just been sitting in that room and then he's been like, oh, Dany or Sansa can talk. But,
they pumped at this episode. They were like, he's a leader. People love him. He's a leader of men. It's like, that's not the Jon Snow I've watched for 7 years.
No, and it isn't. Yeah, so they made him do like this gladiator type speech. I've just got written down here, fucking Bran, do something. That's literally what I wrote that halfway through while I was watching it. What a useless bastard, He's just
he is.
Yeah, I just I'm really disappointed in him, because every time I watched Game of Thrones through 1 to 7, the seasons, I was always, whenever it jumped to his scenes, I was always a bit like, I'm not as invested. But in the back of my mind, I was like, but there's going to be a reason. There's going to be a reason, and it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. It's going to be great. And we got nothing. We got a crow flying off to show us that the Night King's on a dragon. It's basically what we got. I'm really, really confused and disappointed. I don't know if they're going to be able to wrap him up. But
was it you that was telling me that? Oh no, somebody else. I was looking at some of the theories, and actually somebody sent us a good theory, which was Bran. He's like, when he's warging, he's going through time and stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently, if you watch the old seasons, the old episodes, whenever something happens in Game of Thrones, there's always a raven around.
Oh yeah.
Or crows or whatever, just flying around or whatever, at like all the major events. And that's Bran going back and looking at shit. But what's actually happening is he's doing what he did with Hodor. He's going back to look, but he's fucking things up. So everything that happened up to now is his fault.
Right.
So we're getting to the point where it could be that Bran, either subconsciously or unconsciously, I guess, has created the fucking disaster as it is to either become the king or make Jon the king.
Yeah, interesting.
Which is like, okay, maybe Bran's either is like he's a supervillain kind of character, or he's just like trying to do the right thing and just always kind of screwing it up, and then getting to the point where Jon has to be the king.
I'd love to believe it, but just the way this season's going, I just don't see them. I don't see them being that smart about it.
I think at the end of the first episode, we kind of realized that it was like all the fans have these great ideas and all these like things that they want to see and enjoy, and it's like nobody's doing that over at fucking
and it's not
Benioff and stuff.
It's not just us that's kind of upset with this season. There's a bunch of people that are just like, what have they done? What are they doing? I think one thing we need to mention, which obviously was trending during the week, was the bloody Starbucks cup. Like,
oh yeah.
just like I know you can miss things on set and all that lot, but it kind of does show you that the lack of enthusiasm or interest that's gone into it. You know, if
Like they have
left
more
Starbucks,
money,
yeah.
more time, and it seems to have come out as one of the worst seasons.
Yeah, and I was chatting to a guy at work about this, saying like, I don't want this to go down as a what would I say? Dexter had a bit of a shitty ending, and what was Lost is a good example. Like Lost just completely lost itself at the end, and now I remember whenever I think about Lost, I remember like season 1 and 2, great, but then it kind of went down a shitter, and I don't want Game of Thrones to have that because right now, it's like this is like Rocky 5, you know, it's just shit the bed. So
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn, exactly. So, and I think, you know, in another 5 to 10 years, when people think about Game of Thrones, are they going to be like, yeah, it was great, it was so good, I was so hyped, but they were like, yeah, that last season though, like I wouldn't, you know, and they'd just be like, I wouldn't watch it, or I'd watch everything up to season 7.
Watch the first 7 seasons and then read the books.
Yeah, there you go.
There's another theory real quick that I got, which was if you watch the trailer for this episode, when Euron Greyjoy looks up, he doesn't look like he's scared. It doesn't look like he's looking at a dragon going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a theory that Bran has actually got all the crows together and he's going to attack them with like the crows. And again, it's one of those, that's too cool for Bran. It's just not going to happen.
It's too cool. Yeah, he needs to get a bloody haircut first. But
who sent us that post? Boat sent us that post. So thanks, Boat.
I actually I really like that, and I hope something like that happens. I do agree that when he was looking up, he is surprised. And one of the theories I heard, but again, this is like 10% likely or 5% likely, is that there's more dragons, and that in season 7 when the big dragon went away, I think they all went away. They were gone for like 2 or 3 episodes, and apparently they were laying eggs. But then everyone's talking about like, well, there's a male dragon. It's just like, this fucking dragon. Like, like maybe it's laying eggs. I don't know. We don't know. But I think we would have heard that there was more dragons by now. At least they would have shown us a glimpse. The other rumor is that
I don't know. They're not great on setting shit up for this season, are they?
It's true.
Night King, dagger. What the fuck was that?
The other thing I heard is that maybe they laid an egg in, or eggs in Winterfell in the crypts. So at the end of the whole Game of Thrones, you know, Dany might be dead. I'm pretty sure the dragons will all be dead, and maybe if it's Jon or maybe it's Tyrion, and then suddenly he has a dragon he'll have a dragon because there's eggs at the bottom, which could be anyway. Just making these things up. That's
all we've got. Making shit up.
Everything we've said here is probably better than what's going to happen.
Because as you're going to jump on your thing where you said Jon's speech was great, I thought it was great. Then I thought about the episode. I'm like, that's bullshit.
Right.
Because it's like he's talking about these people are the greatest heroes we've ever seen. Their legends will live on. We shall thank our grandchildren and great grandchildren for their. And I was like, that's not what happened. Arya saved the day by stabbing a guy.
Yeah, just one girl. There
was no great sacrifice, or it was just a battle that lasted one night.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk about how she got there and how she killed him and how did she get past the White Walkers, and then some people are saying that maybe she killed one and took their face, but it's just like, no, they would have shown that at least. I think they didn't. They're just not explaining anything. It
doesn't matter.
She's good, you know. She's a bit of a spy and assassin, so she can do whatever she wants. So.
The other reason for that is something we talk about with movies, is that if a movie emotionally makes you feel good, you kind of just, you know, you turn a blind eye to the logic. You're like, it doesn't make sense, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's like, it happened, you're like, what? What?
Yeah.
And then you're obviously just thinking about it, it's like, how did she get there? Where's everybody else? Where's all the Whereas if it had been satisfying, you'd be like, yes, winning, brilliant. And you kind of just be like, if someone asks questions, like, oh, it's just a show. Stop worrying about it.
Yeah.
You know, one of those things?
No, totally. Yeah. And that's what we were talking about with like Endgame and stuff. So
Yeah, with Endgame, it's like if someone comes to me and they're sort of like, no matter how intelligent or rational or reasonable their problem is, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I don't care, mate. I liked it.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite part of the episode, and what was your worst part of the episode?
I think my favorite part was that ending. I loved Tyrion's like real impassioned speech to his sister, and it kind of looked like he was getting through.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of tension. It was like, this could switch. Like, she could pull something,
Right.
or, she might change or whatever. And then I was like, cut off the head. I'm like, oh, it looks like Danny's about to lose it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That was great. Everything before that kind of everything for me now is through the filter of the Night King got stabbed by Arya. I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have the burial, okay. Bran is sitting in his fucking Xavier chair doing nothing, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's just like, I always live in the past. I'm like, who gives a fuck anymore? You've done nothing. All those tree people for years. It doesn't make sense anymore. Like, the whole show just, I know it's the Game of Thrones, but I thought the real power in the story was that the Game of Thrones seems really important, and it seems to like have all these houses and families and centuries of warfare and the Targaryens, and you're kind of worrying and wondering and little fingers in there, and you've got all these levels of class and society, and then it just gets thrown open to this whole bigger problem of, oh, your games don't matter, your whole society doesn't matter, all these things are trivial. Death is coming, and it's going to destroy you unless you can put all your differences aside and deal with this. And to me, the kind of contrast in the show, or the tension was, is the show going to go down a very kind of positive route where people do come together and overcome this problem and then change? Or is it going to be they try, but they're, differences and all their hatreds and all this legacy of pain and revenge and family feuding, is it going to get in the way, and someone's going to make a betrayal, and at the last moment they're going to fall apart and the Night King's going to win, or at least destroy a whole bunch of them?
Yeah.
And neither of those things have happened. It's like the whole first 3 episodes doesn't matter, because now we're back to square one. It's Daenerys fighting Cersei.
You are right. It's back to square one. They've even the playing field with like half the army being taken out by the Whites, and then they've even taken out a dragon now. So I think the way that that's going, it's just going down a predictable route now. Cersei's obviously going to die. Jaime will probably kill her. Dany might go into a bit of a crazy storm. Will she kill those innocent people to get the her troops through the door? I don't know. Maybe not. But,
or what's his name? Grey Worm. He might go nuts as well.
Oh, he's gonna go fucking berserk. But yeah, he's gone for sure. But I did a Deadpool at work, and I was doing all the tallying of the kills up and deaths, and like there wasn't really much of work for me to do. Because I was like, everyone on the sheet who's like a main character is either still alive. There's a couple of ticks or X's here and there. But like you said, like, is it all going to happen in this one episode, or is it just going to go play really safe and it'll just kill 3 or 4 and then like of the main guys, and then it's just the aftermath?
Yeah, like it's, if you're going to use the Endgame example, Endgame's the end of the contract, so it's like you went into that movie being like, everybody here could die.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel has like a whole bunch of ways it can reincarnate characters or give the character to somebody else, or just fucking James Bond it and get a different actor in, whatever. So you're kind of open to what's happening, and that's what this looked like was going to happen with Game of Thrones. It's like, we have no books to base this off. This is just what the writers want to do at the studio. They don't have to worry about getting next season's ratings and getting more people to watch and HBO subscribers. It's like, this is it. This is it. Bring it home. And they just do not seem to have any balls at all.
That's it right there. They don't have any balls. They're just fucking with it and going down the easy route, easy money route.
Yeah,
and you've said it before as well. It's like, it's as if they haven't seen or haven't watched the first 7 seasons for a while, and they've forgotten kind of what the characters were like.
Yeah. And you were saying the Lost comparison. I think this one's going to have a lot more hatred towards it, or a lot more disappointment towards it, because there are books. There are people who've got the books and they love the books. And then there's people who've got the show and have never read the books, but now somebody can come along and go, well, in the books, what George R. R. Martin did was this and this and this. And they're like, oh, that would have been really cool, and so on and so forth. Lost was just Lost. If they didn't make it happen, nobody could compare it to anything.
Yeah, and also Lost itself over time, whereas over time, like over like three or four seasons, it just died. Whereas Game of Thrones has been great up to season 7, so it's literally lost itself in the last 6 episodes.
Yeah, it did a Lost in this season 8.
Yeah. My favorite scene, my worst scene. My favorite scene, because we haven't even talked about it, was actually the Bran scene. I was really fucking tense during that scene. I thought he was going to shoot Jaime in like the shoulder, not kill one of them, but shoot them in the leg or something.
Totally agreed. It felt like, you know what, he could just fucking go off on one of these lads.
It was so good. And then I wrote down as well, cold-plated cunts. And yeah, he's just great. I was half expecting him to come in and like pour a beer and sit down with him and go like, Cersei, fucking hate her. But he's all about the money, and he's like, what can you do? What can you double up? But like there was a couple of moments where it just kind of went quiet, and Jaime's like looking at Tyrion, and I'm like, fuck, he's gonna shoot him in the shoulder or something,
And
so
he didn't even shoot him in the shoulder. It's just the scene ends. He's like, I'll give you a river run. He's like, all right, if not, I'll find you. And he backs out of the door, and I'm just like,
yeah,
what is the point in that scene?
I know, a bit of a cop out. Like we'll see him probably in King's Landing fighting tonight, but I don't know if it will connect any dots. I think he'll either die or he'll still be alive at the end, but he won't get his wish or whatever.
It's like the show is kind of designed the wrong question. It's like they had this massive question. Like I said, I went through it, like the story, Game of Thrones, Night King, Bran, blah blah. Now the question they're asking is like, who's going to kill Cersei?
Yes, yeah.
It's like, who gives a fuck about that? Like, could be her brother, could be Bronn because he betrays her and he wants River Run. It could be Arya could come down and finish her list. It's like, is this it? This is what you've built your final season towards?
I tell you what, the way they can completely fuck this up is if Arya kills Cersei, because if she kills the Night King and Cersei, then I think I might even not tune into episode 5, 6 or whatever. It's like, done.
It would take a handbrake turn of a change right now for me to be excited about episode 6.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. No, and I think the majority of people think that way. My worst scene, there's a few of them, but the one that sticks out, the one that sticks out to me was the bloody dragon scene. So I'm okay with the dragon dying, but I'm not cool with it. Just you didn't see the ships. They're flying through the air, and they can see everything on the ground. So I just found it really weird that they didn't see the ships, and also the guys on the ships they're suddenly expert dragon killers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and here's one way I think that could have maybe fixed it. So the way they shot it was one thing went through his like belly, and then the rest through the neck or whatever. But I think they should have shown all 10 ships firing at the same time, and then you see the dragon kind of maybe it goes through one of his wings, but he dodges a good 7 of them, and then but because it goes through his wing, the other one goes through his chest or something. At least show that we've fired 10 and only 2 hit. But
because it's like the first 2 shots are like bang bang done.
Yeah, and they didn't even see it. And then the other thing that kind of goes with this, but I can understand why. So I can understand that she went crazy and she's going towards them. I thought that was kind of cool. But then me and Leah said it at the same time. We just said, just go around the back. It's just like, just go around the back of the ships and burn them all. Now, you could argue and say they probably got those things on the front and back of the ships, but I don't know. Just there's a couple of things like that, and she pisses off, obviously, but which is why it gets me excited, because at the end of the trailer for tonight's episode is what is he looking at? Because he obviously knows there's a dragon coming for them, but there's blatantly something going on. Like it's not she's not coming down from the clouds for him. It's something else. So maybe it's the crows.
Well, if I was a dragon flyer as I was, if it was her, I'd just grab something real heavy, fly really high, and drop it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'd do. Just create a
Like,
new type of dive bomb.
well, just pick up Bran and drop him.
Yeah. The other thing I'd say with that getting shot is that nobody knows there's that kind of weapon in the world, so they might not have even pegged it and been like, "What's that thing on the front of the ship?" Because they wouldn't be worried about it.
Sure.
But yeah, on the flip side of that, like you said, is this is a brand new weapon. How are these guys perfect shots against a dragon, which is something they could have never practiced for?
Yeah. Plus the dragons, two of them are like, they didn't even see the ships, but you could argue, like what you just said, they didn't think they would have those weapons on them, but it just came out of nowhere. Whereas these dragons are supposed to be able to kind of scale the skies and then see everything. But
yeah, I think your
it is
method
fantasy.
would have just worked well if they had just flown around and you see the ships and she's not that close. She's like, "Oh yeah, there's some ships here, whatever."
Yeah,
and then the Euron just goes fire and goes. And just a fucking hail of these things come at them. They're like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah. Again, that's what I like about these podcasts. Is like when we kind of analyze it, but we can say.
I'm glad
like,
you like them. I don't.
This is how maybe you could make that scene.
The
better,
lads talk too quiet. They talk too fast. They talk too much of an accent. They breathe into the microphones. They're idiots. They don't know anything. They think they know too much.
One of them's Mexican. The other one's Scottish.
Keep your comments coming though. We like them.
Yes, but like overall, I think we're on a bit of a downer. You more than me, but
it's
just
the Night King thing.
Because of the Night King, yeah.
It's 7 years or 6 years, 6 seasons, whatever. Bran's been in a wheelchair. Poor kid. God bless him. He's in the Godswood crying, and it's just like you ended it in one episode, and by the next episode we're back to, not in a bad way, but it's a Game of Thrones episode.
Yes. The last thing I will just mention as well is, because it's been popping up on my feed, is that at the end you can see Jon with the army and they're outside. Well, where the hell is that? Because there's desert there, and everyone was saying that King's Landing is surrounded by water. And then there's scenes like where they've got like top-down views of King's Landing from other episodes, and there is no desert. So that's another just weird thing. It's just like, where are you right now?
It could be what you said. They will race through the first. Was this an hour-long episode tonight?
Yes, I believe it's an hour and 10 or something. It's the same as all the other ones, I think.
So maybe what they'll do is they'll just have slaughterhouse rules, just arrows and daggers and things everywhere. Crows attacking, pulling out people's tongues and eyes. Gets real dark, gets real nasty in Game of Thronesy. Dragon, blah blah blah, fight, and by like 45 minutes, Cersei's dead.
Yep.
Daenerys is on the throne, and we're like, oh wow, that's over and done with.
I would actually put money on that happening. I think at the end of it, someone will be sitting on the throne, or at least,
or not even the end of it. I mean, by like right near the end, like an hour, like she's on the throne. You have a little bit of piss taking or whatever. It's like, oh, she's the queen and Jon's the real king. They all fight about that, and then you have a little like 6 months later, and then Jon's in the desert with his army fighting Daenerys.
Oh wow, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's not going to happen though. See,
not at all. But I do think they will wrap it up in this episode, and I think the one after will just be, because I think what would be cool to see, and I think we will see it, is we'll somehow see Sansa in King's Landing, whether she's sitting on the throne or not, I don't know. But I think there's a few characters that you want to see. And I'm a little bit sad that Tormund's gone. Like, I don't think he's coming back, is he? They just literally wrote him off. So, and
the wolf are gone.
And the wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear? This is actually pretty bad, man. This is pretty bad. The reason why, so a lot of people were pissed off that he didn't say goodbye to the wolf properly, and the official reason from the writers and directors is they didn't have the budget for the CGI.
Oh, for fucking
I was like,
holy
are
hand
you
of Jesus.
shitting me? We'll just show a couple of less dragon scenes just flying through the clouds and do that one.
Like, what the fucking Jesus on a stick is that kind of logic?
Yeah. It's just like he's been since season 1. Those guys have been like proper, dedicated to the Starks and stuff, and then you just nod at him and go bugger off.
All right, have fun up north with Tormund.
Yeah, but
Oh, that's so annoying to hear.
I know that I was pretty gutted by that. I was thinking, oh, maybe it's more cryptic or something, or there's a reason why, but they were just like, nah, we ran out of money. It's like,
so everything the show has established for years is just nothing to these people now.
yeah,
The first season started with them finding the dire wolves and giving one to all the kids of Ned Stark.
that's right.
And then it was like slowly, one of them dies, another one dies, this one appears, Arya's one reappears. And it's like this metaphor for the family and a wolf pack. And it's like the Night King. And oh my God. What the I'm dying, Al. I'm dying. I can't deal with this fucking lazy ass writing.
I'm looking forward to
lazy.
I'm looking forward to chatting about the one tonight as well.
Yeah, this is a good way. We get like angry in the morning, build it up, have a few beers, watch the Game of Thrones, and then just be like, shoot me with a dragon harpoon. Fuck this shit.
Well, so overall, I think it's
overall best episode ever. Love the show. Can't wait.
I think one of the better episodes. It's just a shame that it's the third last one, and too little too late, and they got to wrap it up. They got to wrap it up in 2 episodes. So unfortunately, we've got a bit of a sick taste in our mouth or whatever. But I don't think they can fix this. But we'll see what they do in this next one. They can fix certain things, but that's kind of the general thoughts, I think.
They either have to be really brave or just throw the stupidest thing out there and just like, it's all a dream. Bran wakes up, it's all a dream. Just do something to solve this. I think the hardest thing with watching this season is, like you've said, the previous 7 seasons are good seasons full of good characters and good moments. How do you not follow that on?
Yeah. It's like it's an obvious downgrade.
Yeah, it's not like we have to. It's not like we're coming in here and we hate Game of Thrones and we're kicking it. We're like, fuck these guys. Haha, look, they've done another shit show. And we're just trying to nitpick little things. It's not like we can come in here and give them positive advice and be like, this is what you could fix, or maybe you could have done that. It's like, this is your last season and you fucked it up.
Yeah.
For no reason that we can understand.
And I think it'll be really interesting to see someone watching these fresh, maybe that hasn't seen it before, and they get all the Blu-rays and they watch all 8 seasons, and if they were to notice, what the hell happened to season 8?
Yeah.
So just because I haven't seen it for a while. I know you watched the Marvel films, but it probably would have been good to watch season 1 to 7. But there's a lot of footage in there.
It's a lot, but it, just like in your head, take the Stark family. Ned gets his head cut off. The Red Wedding. The Wolf of the North. The King in the North. Jon having to go to the Wall. Arya getting into the House of 1,000 Faces or whatever that was called. And it's just like, you can see this family's progression and the efforts and constantly struggling and these horrible moments of like fear and being betrayed and the Lannisters screwing them over and so. And then you get to this season, it's like, Arya stabbed him, Jon's fine, Sansa's cool, let's say goodbye to the wolf, moving on.
Yeah.
You're like, what? There's nothing connecting this to what's happened.
Yeah. It's a proper WTF moment.
I think the closest has been Theon Greyjoy, because he was part of the family, betrayed them, came back and earned a kind of respect then, and Bran says you're a good man, and
yeah.
That was a nice moment. Actually, I should have mentioned that. I did in my solo one. Was Sansa says goodbye to Theon. She's crying just like Daenerys was crying, but she takes off her pin, which is the Stark pin. She puts it on Theon.
Yeah. So I forgot about that as well.
It's like that's like a little moment, but that's 7 years of build up and payoff.
Of course, yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, he came back, he protected Bran, he gave that extra 5 seconds so Arya could save the day. he's a good man. That's the show. Like, just do that for everybody else.
Yeah.
Stop pissing around and then having episode 4 of 6 be the episode where Tyrion's sitting around drinking, being like, I don't know if we should kill her or not. It seems like we're talking about treason. Well, kings and queens come and go, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is way too late in the game to have this shit.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of faff, basically. It's like, you can't wrap this up into two episodes left.
That's true. But we should wrap this up. Get ready for tonight's episode.
For sure. You let us know, guys, what you think. Thanks for commenting on the last video. We got a lot of chatter going on there. Let us know your predictions maybe for tonight's episode, because we'll have this up shortly.
Yeah, or just go straight for 6. How do you think this is all gonna all come together?
Yeah, let us know maybe your favorite or worst scene. And thanks for listening as usual.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Talk to you again soon.
See you on the next one, guys.